In this episode of Vibe Gardening Informed Edition, we're going to go over actually 2 episodes, mostly due to the really viral impact my shorts and it had on my channel. So with that, this first portion of the episode, I'm going to really talk about how I'm going to fix this trellis here, repairing it a little bit, and also adding support to my eggplants over there. It's kind of flapping over it quite a bit under the weight of its fruit. So with that said, let's go over how I'm going to fix this trellis first and get some support from my eggplant. In the next episode, we're going to talk about one of my shorts on how I fixed my tomato trellis. That said, let's get going. So this first part, we're going to be trying to fix the trellis on this cucumber plant I have here. As you can see, it is quite filled with leaves on the top, and it is trying to all accumulate on the north side, which is the side that's facing us right now. And part of it is the heat wave lately has been making all the leaves on the south side get scorched. So they're all climbing over to the north side and trying to survive. And as you can see already, the heat is starting to impact today. It's going to be hitting the high 80s today, and the plants are already feeling the effects. And I also believe the cucumbers on the south side might be dying due to the root heat coming from the raised bed here. As you can see, this raised bed is all metal. So coming from the south side, it's going to be baking the soil on the south side. That's really giving this a lot of struggle for the cucumber to really live to its best potentials. Now here's a look at the south side of the trellis for cucumber. As you can see, it is not doing well. The south side has a lot of leaf damage, as you can see. And also, as you kind of go along the vine here, you will see that there's a lot of death going on here. The fruit's not really coming along. The leaves are withering. As you can see here, we got a pretty sad little bit of cucumber. It's basically getting scorched from whatever's going on. That's going to be another episode where we'll talk about the nutrition and how to I'm trying to basically save this during the heat wave, but I don't think that's going to be, I don't know if I can really save particularly this one. This one's particularly bad. Let's kind of go down here. You can see it is really getting the heat of the summer sun right now. Now let's look at the trellis here. We're going down the trellis. As we can see, it's really special here. You see this joint here? This is really suffering from the weight of everything up here. I basically created a cell mast essentially of with bird netting. It's letting the cucumber crawl over it. It's getting so heavy on the north side, it's bending it over. And I really feel like this right here, this joint, this plastic joint, is really giving away. And so this trellis really is, I'll show you in a minute here, the solution is actually still with this trellis, is that all these segments here, these are steel coated with plastic. It's very strong, but the weak point here is this plastic joint. And this right now needs a lot of help. And as you can see, this steel, it's bending, and it might need more support, as you can see here as well, with this plastic joint right here. This is also starting to suffer the some consequence of being bent. So I'm definitely going to be giving all these bit of support and try to see if I can straighten it and give it a little bit more life so they can basically last this season. I really don't know if these plastic joints can survive all season, but we shall see. So how I'm really going to fix this this time is going to be using this tomato trellis kit right here. What I like about it is that it's very modular, so that they all coming with these assemblies of these little steel rods that I showed you over there with the cucumber. What I can do here is that because it's modular, I can take this kind of like Lego and put them and basically tie them however I want, use them for support help, or actually build a trellis like it advertised. But the cost of it is so effective that I'm really going to use this for all kinds of repair. And the other thing I'm going to need also to help me repair, I need these strip ties. And these are liquid 8-inch strip tie. and they're going to be long enough for majority of the work I'm going to do. And then, of course, I'm going to also need a pair of scissors to really cut the strip tie when I'm done with it. So with that, let's see if this is going to be enough to help me straighten the that trellis over there. I'm going to start off by trying to demonstrate how I'm going to try to fix this joint right here, this plastic joint. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use one of these plastic covered steel poles. I'm going to use myself 2 strip ties to tie both ends. Let's see if it'll basically flatten them, flatten this pole here enough to give it enough support. And if that works out, we're going to apply it to the other ones. And what we're going to do here is I'm going to try to tie up the bottom one first. But that's going to give me enough structural strength from the outside to be able to see if it can really help out the basically pulling the top. Make sure you put it nice and tight, because one of the things is that you want to make sure this thing doesn't slide. And because the grooves that they put on the side of this plastic, this really helps it from basically sliding too much. Now, at the moment of truth, I'm going to pulling this particularly hard to correct side a little bit and see if I can get it to stand up. Alright, I don't think it's moving, and I think there is enough strength here. As you can see, it's definitely, this metal piece here is definitely helping get this plastic joint over here reinforced. I'm going to apply that to the other ones and see if it can basically make this actually stand up straight. As you can see, now it's a lot taller, a lot more erect, and it's starting to look a lot more like when I first built it. Standing straight, I think it kind of worked. Now let me show you how I did each of the joints. So this bottom joint really is probably the worst of the group. So here I actually tied an extra tie right here. Go down, that's the original one. And then here on the top, have a second one. I left the extra on here to show you where it is. So basically I've done actually right here. So what I've done here is I tied one on the top, one on the bottom here. And then I have one in the middle for this one. This is the only one I have a little extra in the middle because of how bold it was. Now on the top, this one is a little bit interesting in that I do have this crisscross action going here, and I can actually use the original A-frame trellis as part of the support system for the bottom of the pole, give it more firmness. And then on the top, it's a simple, regular strip tie right here. It's quite normal like the other ones. Other side, I did the same thing. Had a little bit of extra here, and then overlap here. I was able to tie this to the other A-frame itself. So when it goes up, I can just tie it up, and it makes it a really, really straight angle. So for the second part of this video, I'm going to talk about, you see how this eggplant are just hanging over. You see the extreme angle of which they're bending over here, and exposing this whole entire area in the middle that generally is not exposed. A lot of the eggplants are doing this in my garden. This raised bed, it's got 6 eggplant, at least 2 of them are draping over, and I really need to take some corrective actions. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use that modular trellis again, and basically build a fence to really give it a bit of a support on the edge. Because one of the beauty here is that, as you can see on the side here, is that the raised bed has a lot of extra edge coming out. You see all the extra edge between the soil and the top of the raised bed. This is going to give us the ability to lean that fence against it and give it support. So what I did here was I really just took the trellis, and then I was able to build a fence looking type of thing. What I did was I basically took one of these straight connectors, as you can see here, and then I was able to basically snap them in together. As you can see, this is still a pointy side of the steel rod. It's plastic protected. It doesn't actually matter because it still goes in pretty tightly like this, and it's pretty firm. And because of that support from the edge of the raised bed, this should be able to be enough to be able to hold up the eggplant for a certain duration. I don't think it needs anything fancy. I just want to make sure that the central stem does not snap and support more fruits later on. That's what I'm doing. And here's the finished support system here. As you can see here, it's actually standing up quite straight. I actually ended up putting up this joint here, and then I even tied the middle here to keep it from leaning over. And then so here with this joint, I actually added another section to be able to support up two eggplant at the same time. And as you can see here, everything is standing up quite straight now. Hopefully this episode gives you an idea of how you can support your plants mid-season when the fruits get large and heavy, and also how to correct a trellis like this, though I don't recommend building a trellis like this. In the future, I'll probably do a whole entire episode on how to build a trellis correctly. So on the bottom, I will link you to one of the trellises that works, and the two trellises I used here to get the cucumber set up. And well, that's it for this time. Until next time, keep vibing and gardening.